Hey everyone, as you may know, I'm also involved with wine, and I'm a rabbi that also likes wine, and I happen to be a part owner of this winery called Earth and Air, situated here in the Upper Galilee. Right across from me, or in back of me, is Mount Meron, which is the resting place of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and it is where the actual vineyards are. So the reason actually that I called this brand Earth and Air is because of the spiritual significance of it. So my primary passion is learning, and it is teaching, and being involved in wine for me was a passion that was the involvement of being here in the land of Israel, first of all, and second of all, of taking something, a beverage which has a misconception about it in the world around it, that thinking that wine is all about just getting drunk, and wine is cheap and whatever it is, or expensive or snotty, right? Wine, in fact, is extremely spiritual. And in all events that we have in Judaism, almost all of them circle around wine. And so starting off with a circumcision, a brit milah, that is done over a cup of wine, and the blessing and the naming of this child, the soul of this child, actually comes into a body over a cup of wine. And getting married, the actual benediction and the actual connection and the blessings are made over what we call the Sheva Brachot, over a cup of wine. And during that celebration, the Sheva Brachot, at the end of it, we have 2 cups of wine, and we mix the 2 cups of wine, and we take the 1 cup, we give it to the bride, and the other one we give it to the groom, because we want to actually blend the two. So wine is actually called, the blending of wine is called in ve'agefen ve'in ve'agefen. There's a blending of the two. So there's a blending of the opposites, of the male and the female, and they come together and they make a beautiful couple. And it's like taking a blend, which is, for example, what we have over here. We have a little bit of a blend of a Cab Merlot, and it's delicious. So I said a blessing before, so I'm just going to say a l'chaim first of all. L'chaim, too bad you can't taste some, but I'll have you in mind. Try to. Incredible. So this blending of the Cab and the Merlot coming together is really in ve'agefen ve'in ve'agefen. And so on Kiddush, on Friday night, what do we make Kiddush on? What do we make the actual blessing? We bring in the Shabbat, the holiest day of the week, the day that we actually commemorate as the day that God rested. We make it over a cup of wine. And in the temple in Jerusalem, and before that, in the tabernacle, there was a whole process called the libation of wine, which happened every single day. There was the libation of wine called nisuch hayayin, which simultaneously with the bringing up of the offering of the sacrifices, the meat, right, there was also wine. And the Talmud says that wine actually went all the way down to the caverns of the Temple Mount and reached that place which is called Even Hashtiyah, the rock of formation. And the Talmud actually says after a few years, they had to go down and they had to kind of like clean out that area because it became congealed. And the Zohar says deep reasons for that the wine had to go down to that spot, to that area, to kind of like raise up that lowly corporeal place, to be raised up with, as the Talmud says, the rejoicing of God and man. So we'll get to that verse in a second. So that's why I wanted to shoot this little video of Kabbalah and me about wine and try to blend these two passions that I have. The passion, first and foremost, of Kabbalah, of teaching. And again, in back of me over there is Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And that's the primary passion that I have. And then try to blend that with wine. With the deeper significance of wine. And so we're going to have a couple of classes on this, and I just wanted to kind of bring out a couple of points over here, some food for thought, or drink for thought, right? L'chaim. And that is regarding that verse which I said before, that wine rejoices God and man. So it's a verse found in the book of Judges, the 9th chapter. I have ceased to produce the vine, giving the vineyards have ceased to produce grapes that has rejoiced God and man. And the Talmud says that it rejoices, that wine rejoices God and rejoices man. And it's like, how do you do that? They're opposites. If man rejoices, so then, it could go to all types of non-godly places. And if God rejoices, so then that's spiritual. How do we rejoice both aspects? And the Talmud says that is specifically the whole idea of wine. Wine goes in, nichnas yain yatsa sod, secrets go out. In fact, the Torah is compared to wine. Yena shel Torah, the wine of Torah. The Torah is actually compared to a number of beverages, and before beverage we have bread, and it's compared to bread, lachmi, that betoch mei, King David says that your Torah is within my stomach. And then it's compared to water. We know that it connotes humility, that somebody who is humble, the Torah comes to them and they are deserving of it, so then water comes to them, and that's compared to water. It's compared to also to milk, and it has to do with the oral Torah, the whole idea of the feminine aspect, right, that we spoke about in other classes. And it is compared to wine and to oil as well. But wine represents the secrets of the Torah, specifically the secrets of the Torah, whereas bread, water, milk represents more of the revealed aspects of the Torah. So why is it that wine represents the secrets of the Torah? And the answer is, the Talmud says, nichnas yain yatsa sod, that wine goes in, secret goes out. And so what does that mean? So the numerology of yain is 70. And 70 has the same numerology as sod, as secret. And so wine goes in and secret goes out. So the question is, what kind of secrets do we want to come out? Because for most people, if wine goes in and their secrets come out, we're like, it's better that you didn't even, drink in the first place, right? And for some people, it's better for them not to, to completely abstain from it. But on a deeper level, when we're talking about the deeper aspect of the soul and what wine really connotes, it represents the extraction of something which is extremely deep, that is found within the psyche, the very essence of one's being. And in fact, we do that. We commemorate that on Friday night when we make Kiddush. We commemorate the creation of the world, that the whole physical world, the whole depth and the whole reason of creation is actually created by the one and only God. And we bring out that secret and we actually consume that. And we bring that into our fiber, into our physical aspects. So for wine to come out and reveal the secrets, a person needs to be ready to be connected to the deeper dimension, to the secrets, and to be more of in line with something which is beyond him or her. And that is really the difference between wine and other alcoholic beverages. Other alcoholic beverages are, people drink them mostly to just get slammed, to get drunk and whatever, and all types of negative things occur from that. I'm not saying always, definitely there's good whiskeys out there and beers and things like that, which, once in a while, which are great, right? But the difference of wine is that it's got all of this amazing complexity on a very physical level that we actually, could smell it. We could look at it. It's got all these amazing different hues, and it's got all these amazing tastes that come out on a very physical level. And that, of course, connotes more of the spiritual dimension, more of the spiritual aspect of wine. And so in the next couple of classes, we're actually going to explore some of these spiritual dimensions of wine, and also some of the physical dimensions of how to, in fact, taste wine, because I think it is really worthwhile, because I think that wine, good wine, could definitely impact a person in a very positive way, in a very healthy way. And that's actually research, that is coming out all the time, that wine is actually healthy for a person if done in moderation. But even a little bit of a glass of wine could just totally heal a person in many ways, right? And it's got a lot of very positive effects to it. But on a spiritual level, what wine represents, and hopefully drinking of good wine is able to extract that sort of like heightened awareness from within the person. So I'm super excited to share that, and we'll be back in other classes on this subject. So I hope you enjoyed. Please leave comments if you did, and any questions that I could answer, or anything or any ideas that you'd like me to discuss in future classes. So for now, I'll leave you with a l'chaim and a blessing that may we all bring out the deeper dimension that is found within ourselves, and find the joy that is really everywhere to be found. So l'chaim, l'chaim.